begins now.
Hello everyone, Mr. DVB here, and welcome to a very special podcast episode. Today I'm being joined by my good friends,
Nathan.
And
Parker.
Parker joined us last episode, where him and I talked about the highly popular film that got us 0 views, Full Metal Jacket.
Full Metal Jacket, the least watched Kubrick movie, I guess.
Well, one of them. And Nathan has not joined us before, so he's a new guest. And today we're going to be talking about a very special movie. 5 years probably in the making, 4 years. Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is a movie that fans have been wanting for a very long time, ever since the Joss Whedon version was released in 2017, and many fans despise that film. And so after years of release the Snyder Cut, we finally have Zack Snyder's original vision, the 4-hour film released in 4:3 aspect ratio on HBO Max. Parker, do you want to flip the screen so we can see it?
Sure.
Just in case. I don't want it to It's been kind of uncomfortable right now.
I don't have my glasses, so I can't see jack shit.
Yeah. So let's pop this bad boy open. And let's talk about the Snyder Cut. So we're gonna talk non-spoilers for a little bit, and then we'll dive into spoilers. So how much do you guys remember? You don't have to go into detail, but do you guys remember the 2017 version at all, or your thoughts on it? I'll start with Nate.
No, not really. I hadn't seen it since we saw it in theaters in 2017. I just remember thinking it was cool at first, but then coming out of it with a really raw, taste for it.
Yeah, it's a film that I honestly liked the 2017 one initially. I am guilty of that. But it didn't take me too long to dislike it. I think once I rewatched it, once it was released on physical media and stuff, when I rewatched it, then I think that's when I really realized it's just a super just movie. Your thoughts on 2017?
So I watched it, I think I saw it in theaters, maybe not, but I've probably seen it once or twice since then, not for a couple of years. So I don't really remember a lot of it. I remember at the end, I don't think this is a spoiler since it's already been out for 5 years, but at the end when Steppenwolf dies, I did not think that was the climax of the film. I thought something else was going to happen, and then it just sort of ended. I was like, holy shit, what did I just watch? And since then, I have had no inclination to watch it again, and I seem to remember it being pretty shitty.
Yeah, it's not a very good film. So luckily we have the Snyder Cut here. Long movie, but in my opinion, far superior.
It doesn't even really feel the length.
Yeah, honestly, it doesn't feel like it's 4 hours. Once you remove credits, this is still 350 something. It's still up there. It's not it's not like Lord of the Rings special editions where there's 30 minutes of credits. This is still a long movie no matter what. But like Parker said, it does not feel like it. I really didn't feel like we watched a 3-hour, 50-minute film. It felt like 2.5, honestly. It just didn't feel the length in a good way, right? It's not like Rise of Skywalker pacing where it's it's done.
A bit.
This was well paced. There was lots of good character stuff. They actually dive into these characters, which the 2017 version could not give two shits about these characters. It just skipped over a bunch of them.
Yes, definitely.
So what did you think of the new version of the film?
I definitely liked it a lot more. Like you were saying, the pacing was so much better. It's like I was saying earlier before this. It started a bit slow, I felt, but it really caught up afterwards. And
yeah, the first because it's split up into
really
7
engaged.
chapters or 7 parts.
Yeah.
And the first 2 were slower ones, I'd say. I still like them a lot, but I think it definitely picked up once I would say they introduced Cyborg for me. That was when the film really picked up. Your thoughts on the movie overall?
So like I said, it doesn't feel its length. I think we stopped for food or something at an hour and a half in, and I couldn't believe an hour and a half had already gone by. It was moving fast. It was all interesting. On the original cut, an hour and a half in, I probably felt like taking a nap or leaving the theater. But yeah, this one, I enjoyed it all the way through.
Well, an hour and a half into this, it's they're just introducing Flash, and it's an hour and a half in the other one, and fucking Steppenwolf's dead. The pacing is just it's insane, the difference between these two movies, and I mean, if this was released theatrically, back in 2017, this is the version we got. It would not have been 4 hours. They would have cut it down.
Definitely not.
And it probably would have been like BVS, where it's a mess. and then it's like they release the full version and it's a lot better. Like this would probably be like, I think honestly like a theatrical release movie, like I'd say a film like this is like I think 2 hours 45 is appropriate, but that's a lot of stuff they'd have to cut out. I mean there is like a 30-minute epilogue here, and I think most of that epilogue you can just remove, like if this was a theatrical release. But yeah, I'd be interested to see like what they like how this would have been released if it was the version we initially got. But you know, there's a lot of differences. I didn't mean to play footsies there. Sorry. there's a lot of differences. Like even down to the tone. Like this is more in line with the tone of like BVS, but it's not as dark as BVS. I wouldn't say, right? Because a lot of people complained. Well, I wouldn't say lighthearted.
It's more.
It's serious, but it's not as it's not as like it's not as gritty as like as Batman vs Superman was. Like it's still a darker film, I'd say, like darker than like, you know, a comparable film like Avengers or whatnot. But it's not like BVS dark. It's just that it's a bit more serious. And there is still some humor. Like there is characters who are kind of used as comic relief. Like Flash is still kind of the comic relief character here.
Except funny.
Yeah, he's better than he was. I still didn't love him personally, the humor from him, but he was definitely better than he was in 2017. There's no like, what was the awful joke he had in that one? The
brunch line.
Yeah,
is that what you're talking about?
The brunch dialogue. That's completely gone here. So he was improved. He does more in this movie too. Like in the third act, he has more to do than just save a little Russian family in a truck.
He's so much more important.
The Russian family. Don't even get started on that original last act.
Like
horrible.
He has something to do here, which was nice. Yeah, like everything just felt more built up to. Like that's the problem with the 2017 was it immediately like the opening scene in the 2017 version is Batman taking on one of the parademons, and there's like an image of the mother boxes, and he's like, oh, and like Alfred, there's a mother box, right? It's like with no explanation to the audience what the hell's going on. And this one, it's like the invasion hasn't started yet. There's build up for the characters. Like Bruce Wayne is trying to assemble a team and whatnot, because he thinks there's gonna be a threat coming. And then it does initially arrive. It's in the Amazons, and this movie definitely, like, I know you guys haven't rewatched the 2017 version in a while, but the stakes they feel bigger, because in the 2017 version, like, you just have the one family, and otherwise, it doesn't really feel like it's going to be the end of the world in that one.
Yeah.
No.
In this one, there's definitely, like, times where the stakes feel raised. Like, you'll see, like, at one part you see, like, the Atlanteans reacting to, like, something, and you see the Amazonians reacting to, like, this big sound during the final battle, so it's kind of like you feel like stuff is going down, and that there is real stakes. Because the first one is just, like, a small family in the middle of nowhere.
Just for no reason.
Yeah, just like that area is just gonna get...
Yeah, it doesn't have any stakes to it. And this time around, like, the villain stuff is still kind of generic. Like, yeah, he wants to destroy the world, but there's an explanation to it at least. In the previous film, we didn't know what he was doing. Like, we knew there was these mother box things that I guess were going to destroy something, but...
Bad guy wants to do bad things.
Yeah,
there was no
backstory.
Like, here they give Steppenwolf some backstory. In this film, it's basically like... well, do you want to explain it, or one of you guys want to explain Steppenwolf's storyline?
I guess I can. Yeah, so he's fallen out of Darkseid's favor, and he wants to get back in, so... He's on a quest to take down 50,000 planets or something like that and get all these 3 boxes. And once you have the 3 boxes, you can wipe out planets. And also there's some equation. I don't really understand that.
The anti-life equation,
Anti-life.
yeah, that's the one thing in this one they didn't really explain the best was anti-life in the comics. It's basically like they say what it is in this movie, but it's just like one line of dialogue that's brushed over. It's kind of like it allows like a person to basically like just control any race, like just literally like just an entire planet. You can just control the people, make them like work for you, kind of thing.
Okay.
You can bring back. I think you can bring back the dead, if I recall. Like I think you can make people who are like dead come back to life. So basically, like it just kind of removes the whole purpose of living. Like you can just
it turns the living into his soldiers or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Well, I think he can do that in general, but I think like this is just like I don't know. It's like a very powerful thing, and Darkseid's like he doesn't have like like. Kind of like a humanity type backstory like Thanos did in the Avengers. Like he doesn't have like this like kind of good intentions, I guess you could say. Like he's just bad guy, but I mean when he shows up in this movie, and he does for like a couple times, you feel his presence. Like he's pretty badass. Like even though he doesn't do too much, like just when you see him, it's like holy shit. Like this is
he's completely redesigned, new costume, new face. A new personality.
That's definitely cool. We're talking about Darkseid.
Oh fuck! It's Darkseid. I can't keep up.
Yeah, but yes, we'll talk about Steppenwolf for a second. Steppenwolf is 10 times better than this.
Yeah.
He looks better, and he just in general as a character, like he's not like it's not like he's an amazing character in this movie, but he's definitely better. Like he's. You said he was like more intimidating. I think is what you said.
Yeah, more intimidating. More.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like
more scary looking.
Yeah, he's. I like the way they designed him in this. Like he actually has legitimate horns. In the previous one, I think he just had a helmet that had horns on it.
Yeah, like
or at least they didn't show he had horns in the other one.
He was a lot more forgettable in the original cut. Like I just found like who's Steppenwolf after I watched
it. He's just some fucking dude. Like
I'm just here to see Batman and all of them.
Yeah, in this one, Steppenwolf, like he had a bit more to him. I'm still not like he's not like some amazing character, but he was better for sure. Okay, now as far as the individual heroes go, we're gonna dive into spoilers a little bit from here on out. So overall, like I thought the movie was great. Rating wise, it's around like an 8 for me. Like I could even see myself going as high as a 9 personally, which I know is like very high, but like I'm a huge DC fan, and this is like what I wanted when we were supposed to get a Justice League movie. So for me, like as a fan, it's everything I wanted. I don't think it's perfect. I do have issues, which I'll kind of talk about a bit in the spoiler stuff because some of them do kind of dive into spoilers. But overall, I thought it was great. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'd probably give it an 8. I don't know. Usually, once I watch it right after screening, it's higher. But I don't think I'd change from an 8. There's not that many flaws. The flaws that are in this one are still flaws with the other movie and just sort of like with the story inherently. But it fixes most of the problems of the Whedon cut.
I would honestly give it an 8 as well. That was what I was thinking before we came into this too.
Yeah. So you got guys. It's as an average, it's like an 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
pretty much. Like, for all
straight average.
So yeah, really enjoyed it. That's our non-spoiler thoughts. Now we're gonna dive into full-on spoilers. So speaking about each character individually, that's one of the things this movie did so much better was because I think kind of heading into the Justice League, one problem that a lot of people had with the DCU was a lot of people said they just rushed right into the Justice League thing, which they kind of did because you had Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, Suicide Squad, which is kind of a spin-off. Like, it's not attached to this movie.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do.
Right? So it's basically, this is like the third film, besides Wonder Woman, because Wonder Woman did come up before this. This is like practically like the fourth, I guess, film then. And you don't have Cyborg, Aquaman, or what's his name, Flash introduced at this point.
Yeah,
so this movie,
just put them all in.
Yeah, this movie had to introduce all those characters, and in the Whedon cut, it was so rushed because, like I said, that's a movie that's an hour and 50 without credits, so you're rolling through those introductions. In this movie, I mean, the standout character for me is Cyborg. Like, he was given so much more to do here. In the 2017 version, no backstory. He just exists, and he's just the way he is. In this film, they dive into his backstory, they dive into his personal thing and his connection with his father, and there's a payoff to it, like an emotional payoff. He kind of held like the emotional core of the movie, and yeah, I thought his character was great. Your thoughts on Cyborg?
Definitely I liked him the most, honestly, out of all the characters. Like you said, the emotional core. He was actually a cool character. Like his abilities and stuff, like him fighting was all cool and stuff too.
They did way more stuff with him. Like
and he was important to the story as well. He wasn't just there. Yeah,
in the other version, like he was pretty much just there. Like in this one, they do some more abilities and stuff. Like he has like 2 extra arms that can come out of his back in this. He does like a bunch of like laser blasts against Steppenwolf, which I liked. And you talked about his helmet. That grows over him.
Mask. That's
the new mask looks really sick. So like he definitely has more abilities in this. They dive deeper into that, and they actually like visualize how he can kind of like just connect to all the technology in the world. Like he kind of has like this like area he can go into in his mind that's like him going through like security systems and whatnot.
I guess they don't even explain that in the original.
Nope.
He's just
a technical guy.
Yeah. And he's there to be on the posters. And he's there for the trailer.
And his backstory, which I really like.
The most compelling, I would say.
Easily, because you don't. Because the thing with like the other characters in this movie is like you get like Flash doesn't really have a backstory in this. They don't explain to you like you know that his father is like supposedly wrongfully accused of murder, but we don't see that or anything like that, right? Like with Cyborg, you actually see how he got in his incident, like how he gets in a car crash, which was a good scene. Like you see him like playing football and stuff. So there's all that backstory for him, and like I just felt it was well done. I liked the scene quite a bit when he was discovering his powers, and there's that lady who is like poor, and he basically like gives her like $100,000. Like he just hacks into this thing, and I don't know. I like that scene because it was kind of showing you like how he's a good person at heart.
And his mom was talking about that before too, so it just makes sense as well.
Like he hacked into like the like before he became a cyborg, before he got his powers and stuff, he hacked into like the school network and basically like raised the kids' grades.
Because her house burnt down, or
I think something like her family, her house burnt down or something like that. So you know, they make you seem like he's a good guy, and I definitely think he really stole the show for me. Your thoughts on Cyborg? Did I already ask you?
I don't know. Maybe? But, yeah, pretty much it's already been said. Emotional core, yeah, good character, good backstory, you know, you've heard it.
Oh, he's a good guy. Roll him on. No, yeah, I liked him.
What the weakest character?
Weakest was Aquaman for me. I think Aquaman was definitely the weakest. He wasn't given much to do. I wouldn't say I preferred him in the Whedon version, but I kind of liked some things about his character in that more.
His dialogue.
He was a bit more like in the Whedon version, they went even more so for like, oh yeah, he's just like a badass kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like in
Comedy
this one,
relief too,
which was better than this one because.
This one he wasn't really like super funny. They didn't go for the badass thing as much. So I'd actually say that like that is one aspect of the Whedon version I probably preferred a bit was Aquaman's character, because he's not really given much depth in this movie either. Like he doesn't have much of a backstory to him whatsoever. One scene that's pretty different is the scene where he saves the guy on the fishing boat and then he goes out into the ocean. And like in the Whedon cut, you have like this like heavy rock metal or song or whatever, you know, like playing in the background. It's kind of like badass. In this version, it's like slower. It kind of sounds like Perfect Day by Lou Reed. It's not the same song, but like it just kind of has like a completely different tone, almost more somber, and it fit. Like Parker and I agreed it fit for the scene, for his character, but it's just a very different thing. And so I'd say Aquaman was the weakest character by far. Was he the weakest for you too, or?
Yeah, I'd say Aquaman was definitely the weakest. I feel like it's somewhat intentional though. Like Snyder was intending to do more of them later in the Snyderverse.
Yeah, because he's also
the script sort of doesn't have him to do too much.
Because he's a character who like in this film he hasn't connected with the human world or Atlantis, and that's everything that happens in Aquaman. He connects with both of those worlds. So yeah, this was kind of like a prelude for his character, right?
Yeah, it was more just getting him out there,
getting him out into the world, both of them. Who else? There was... Yeah, so out of the main heroes, I thought Aquaman was the weakest. But weakest character in general, I don't know about overall, but like... Okay, it's not just because of who she is as a real person, but Amber Heard in this movie, I don't know what it was. She has like this stupid British accent that she tries doing under... Like, she's talking and she's like, you are Queen Atlanta's daughter, or son. And it's like, she has like an accent all of a sudden. It's like, what? That
totally.
It doesn't even exist in the Aquaman movie. So, I don't know if she's that bad of an actress that she just dropped it for the film, for the next one, but like, it was weird.
At least her hair isn't completely
her hair isn't like
ridiculous
red. It's some like fucking fake ass wig. Yeah, no, but again, she's not a pivotal character whatsoever, so it's not like, you know, it's like, oh, she's a terrible character in the movie. She doesn't really have much to do here.
She just hangs out with Willem Dafoe a bit.
Yeah, Willem Dafoe was in this version. He was not in the other.
He's in there for like 2 shots, I think.
And he has like long hair in this. Like really long.
Like
in Aquaman, he has like short hair. So. But that's one of the things I liked with this movie. It did feel more connected to the universe, because there was more storylines that, like, you know, like I said, some of the Aquaman stuff, some of the storylines in this movie for his character branch off into the film. Same thing can be said about. Oh, okay, sorry, I got really worried for a second. I was like, oh shit, my laptop's shut. But it's that one. But no, yeah, like there's some stuff that like branches into Aquaman. And there's characters, like there's one flashback scene. If you guys, if you're watching, in the 2017 version, there's like this scene where Steppenwolf invades Earth like thousands of years ago. Yeah, and it's Steppenwolf in that version. In this version, it's Darkseid. It's a younger version of Darkseid, which in the comics is called like Uxas. Like, it's a different character. It's the same guy, but he's like way weaker and doesn't have his abilities. So that's kind of why he gets his ass kicked. But I liked that scene so much because you have characters from other DC films in there. You have, Ares, who was like the primary villain in Wonder Woman. So that was cool seeing him there. You have like a Green Lantern. You have Zeus. King Atlan, like the guy who
were these guys in other DC movies? Zeus, King Atlan.
King Atlan was the dead skeleton that Aquaman gets his actual trident from, the one that allows him to control animals and stuff. Like he gets that from a skeleton, and he was like used in flashbacks. So like he was in this too, like in the final battle. So like it just kind of connected this to the other movies, which I really liked.
Yeah, I didn't really get that. Like I'm not up with the DC films really. Like, I was looking for this one well enough, but. Yeah, I didn't really get those references. That battle, though, was still great. Yeah. That was one of the best.
Like, did you get the Ares, at least?
Ares, you told me. I didn't know which one was Ares.
Okay, he was the mustache one who... he axes Darkseid, like, right in the shoulder.
Oh.
And then he, like, eats it out, and then there's, like, a huge, terrible CGI blood that comes out of his shoulder. That's one thing is... Okay, so the CGI in this... honestly, it is better than the 2017 version, in my opinion. It's still not great. There are some shoddy moments, but the way I was looking at it is this is a 4-hour film that had a $70 million budget, right? Most comic book films are at least 150. And the Snyder cut, not the Snyder cut, the Joss Whedon version had like a $300 million budget, and that was an hour and 50 minutes. So this is more than twice the length, or it's about twice the length, and it has like a fraction of the budget, like a quarter of the budget pretty much. So they had way less to work with here, and it looks better. Like it does.
It looks a lot better, a lot cleaner.
Cleaner. Like the.
Just the colors help so much too.
The colors
are so ugly in the original one. This one,
it's composed so much
more
better.
Muted.
Yeah, they're more muted in this one. It's more in line with the tone in the previous DC films. The final act, it's like more so at nighttime. It's not like pitch black where you can't see anything though, right? Like that's a complaint I've heard with BVS is that it's so dark. This one, it's like you can still see what's going on clearly, but it's not like this shitty saturated red color
everywhere
that looks so fake and just like
lightning striking everywhere.
Yeah, so it at least fit in this version, and I liked that. Some more characters really quick to talk about. Wonder Woman, she had some more stuff to do here, like not too much more. I think her action sequences are better. The action sequences in general better, but
she was like the Thor of this one, honestly. Like
pretty much, there was one scene.
The powerhouse.
Yeah, she's like the powerhouse until Superman shows up.
Yeah.
She did have one scene I really liked though that wasn't in the other version, which was when she finds the arrow and then she goes into like that cave area and sees all like the sketchings of like Darkseid and his army. Yeah. Like that was kind of like it was like an eerie scene. Like it had like this kind of like eerie tone.
It was interesting.
And yeah, I really liked that. Like it was like they're discovering Darkseid instead of like the other version where she's just like, there's an invasion happening. This one, it was kind of like she was discovering what was happening. So I liked that.
Like in regards to her being a powerhouse, like I don't think they take that too far though.
Not
they
really.
could have done it where she does everything and nobody else has anything to do. But I think every single fight, someone has something to do.
Yeah, they toned her down a bit actually compared to the Whedon cut. Because in the Whedon cut, she was 100% like the only powerful character until Superman showed up.
Yeah, it was just ridiculous.
In this version, they actually gave. I think sometimes Aquaman was given a bit to do action-wise here, like a bit more than he was in the previous version.
Well, just Batman definitely too.
Batman as well, because Batman was kind of like.
It's like assassinating everyone.
Yeah.
Just like jumping around.
Batman is a bit useless in the third act of this movie. Like, he does take down a bunch of, like, gunners, but he's just kind of, like, running around.
Yeah.
He knocks over a tower. That's
he does, pretty much. In, like, the 2017 version, Batman just does, like, ultimately nothing in any of the action sequences. So, like, here, he has stuff to do.
He's not even saving Russians. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You could at least save a Russian family.
Yeah, come on, Batman. But Bruce Wayne as a character here is so much better, because he kind of keeps his grittiness that was... Nate's in frame. I was like, sorry to fuse out. He keeps his grittiness that was kind of present in BVS. He's not as, like, over the top, because in that film he was, like, hell-bent on killing Superman. So he's not like that here, but he wasn't making stupid jokes in this, though, right? There's none of that, like, where he gets tossed on the ground, he's like, oh, something's definitely bleeding. Like, none of that's here. He does have humor, but it's, like, the fitting humor. Like, there's this one line that I really like. It was in the 2017 version as well, so it was a Snyder joke, where he's like, I bought the bank, like, at the end of the film.
Yeah.
Or, like, when he's when Flash is like, what's your superpower again? He's like, I'm rich. Like, there's stuff like that. All, like, the, I'm rich jokes I love.
Yeah, those work, for sure.
He's like, you want a satellite? 6. Like,
yeah.
I like stuff like that. I even liked Alfred in this. Like,
he's
he's pretty funny in this movie, some of his scenes. So I thought everybody here was improved, just besides Aquaman. Flash, I still didn't love him, to be honest, but I did think he was improved because he was given a huge thing to do in the final act of this movie. Would you like to explain that, Nathan?
Yeah. So basically, for Cyborg to be able to get inside of the mother boxes before the Unity happened, the Flash needed to go fast enough to build a charge. So when he touched Cyborg, he wouldn't be able to go inside.
Mm-hmm. And then he also has to, like, reverse time.
Yeah. So, but he's too late the first time because he gets shot. So the world almost gets destroyed, but then he travels faster than the speed of light.
And reverses time.
That
was awesome.
Because like, charges Cyborg.
Yeah, and that scene I really like when he's reversing time,
really
because
cool.
You see, like Superman is, like, melted.
Like, yeah.
You see, like, his, like, fingers, like, blood reform in, like, his skull.
So, like, imagine those movies where, like, a nuke goes off and everyone just, like, poosh.
Yeah.
That in reverse.
Yeah, it was really cool visually, so I like that a lot. So that was a really awesome scene. So yeah, like Flash reverses time in this and saves the entire planet. Compare that to the 2017 version where he pushes a fucking truck and goes.
Flash does nothing.
He waves at a little Russian family. He's like Dvorsky, and then he runs away. Like
yeah, he shows up for a few one-liners, and then he just accomplishes nothing once he gets back to the main battle.
Like he really is virtually useless in 2017. He saves people. That's it. There's one scene in this film I thought was kind of fun with him too, where like when they're in the like underneath Gotham Harbor, and he's kind of like running around. There's one part where he basically just like pokes he like pokes a parademon and it just fucking launches into a wall. Like I thought that was pretty great. And when like there's one part where he saves a bunch of people from falling rubble, and it was really cool visually because you just see like a blue light and you just see like different frames of his body moving,
like flashing.
So that was really sick. So yeah, everything in this movie was done better besides like just Aquaman as a character. Like nothing else I would say was weaker here. Lois Lane, like I don't think she's a good character in this movie or anything, but they give her like a lot of grieving scenes, which was fitting because in the previous version she mostly just like she is more lighthearted. She basically talks to like Martha and they're like joking around and stuff. It just didn't fit. Here there's like grieving periods and stuff, so all that stuff worked really well.
And she's not in it much either. She's in like
barely.
Scenes, maybe
three scenes.
The coffee scenes or whatever when she's going to look at the memorial.
Yeah, she goes to the memorial to look at where he died. Not where he died, but like where his memorial was. The only other real thing I can think of is we also get like I'm just trying to think before we like talk about the epilogue and wrap up. Martian Manhunter's in this. 2 scenes, like nothing big. He was like definitely the weakest CGI in the movie, I'd say, like because he was complete CGI and he just didn't look great.
But it was small enough, I guess it didn't matter.
Part of that can be, I think, attributed to the budget of what they were contained to. But it was still cool seeing him as a character. Like that was really awesome. It gives you like this feeling that's like, oh god, like you know that if they were to make more of these, he would be in there. One thing that actually got revealed was another character who actually they filmed scenes for what's his name? Jon Stewart.
Isn't Jon Stewart like a late night host?
Not John. Well, whoever Green Lantern is. What was Green Lantern?
Reynolds?
No, like the character's name.
Yeah.
Is
it Jon Stewart?
I can't remember. I don't think it's Jon Stewart.
Okay, sorry, not Jon Stewart. It's a late night. Okay, wait.
Jon Stewart. This is George C. Scott.
Green Lantern. What the hell's his name? Green Lantern.
Name.
Green Lantern. Shit. Okay.
You got it.
It's like.
We got our crack team of.
It is Jon Stewart.
Is it?
It is Jon Stewart. It is Jon Stewart. Okay.
You know your lantern. What can I say?
Good. I was like, it is Jon Stewart. Yeah. So they actually had him as a character in this movie. Probably
Hal
like
Jordan.
Hal Jordan's the white one.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Jon Stewart's.
Yeah,
Jon
that
Stewart's
would be in this one, right?
Well, no, they actually
they
actually had Jon Stewart. They filmed a scene with Jon Stewart because that's the one they were going with, and then Warner Bros. Wouldn't let him use it.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
That's weird.
Because
I was excited for that actually.
Yeah, because Jon Stewart's my favorite version of the character. Like I prefer him over Hal Jordan personally, and I would have loved to see him, but they didn't do that unfortunately. God, like now the new thing is restore the Snyderverse, which I'm all for. Like I would love it if they continued this vision because, like. They're gonna do the whole apocalyptic stuff with evil Superman, and that's all stuff that I dig. I think it's such a cool storyline, but we probably won't ever see it happen. Maybe Warner Bros. Will be like, no, we're gonna pull a Flash here and reverse time and just fix all of our fucking mistakes.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
We were saying like we just wanted more of this.
Yeah, like
after we finished this
was
movie.
honestly awesome. Like seeing this, like I don't know why they would ever change this vision.
I'd rather watch this than.
It's solid.
Aquaman or Suicide Squad. What other DC movies have come out?
I'd watch this more. Yeah, well, I'd watch this. I'd prefer to watch this over almost any of them, to be honest. Like, I think this is probably.
This is definitely
honestly, this might beat Shazam for my favorite DCU film, or it's at least tied with it. Like, it's probably my second favorite.
They're just so completely different.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like it's a comedy, and it's
for the serious DCU films. This is my top one. For the comedy ones or like the non-serious ones, Shazam's my top. Like those are neck and neck for just like favorite overall. Overall, I thought it was excellent. Like I said, like I really enjoyed it. Action was better. The score, that's one thing we didn't talk about, was the music.
That's been getting some heat.
So the OST, like the actual score, I think was pretty solid here. Wonder Woman has like this theme where whenever she shows up, it's like
the Survivor noise. It's like,
it's like this kind of like goofy like
that's pretty straight.
It gets a bit overused. I think it's fine a few times.
Too many
times.
It's
every time she does something cool, it's like so that gets used a lot. there was a kind of like this cool at first I was like, ugh, I don't know how I feel about it, but the more it was used, I kind of started to like it. It's like this like electric currents like when the Justice League forms and stuff.
Yeah, I think I like that.
Then there's the actual songs they use, and these ones just some of them fit, some of them didn't. So there was one like where Lois Lane's kind of going to Superman's memorial. I thought that one kind of fit.
Yeah, for the scene. I like that one.
For the scene, it fit. There was one where when Aquaman's going into the ocean, it's no longer badass. It still fit his character because it's kind of the lyrics are basically getting at that he's a person who's kind of torn, which fit with his character. The song that did not work was the one in the Iris West scene, which was one of my least favorite scenes in the movie. I liked when Flash touched the glass and broke it and saved her and stuff, but it was really weird because he's like grabbing a hot dog wiener, and I thought they're gonna make some really weird joke with that or something. He's gonna shove it in her face or something, but it was just a weird scene. And the music was like this romantic music with lyrics, and I was like, oh, this is so odd.
And it was just a long burn, slow burn.
It was a really slow scene. That was honestly my problem with the first I'd say half of this movie, or more even first quarter. Honestly, I think it was really just the first hour or so was they used too much slow-mo. It got overused a lot.
There's a lot of slow-mo.
And I was really worried it was gonna get over. This movie could have been 3 hours if they had removed a lot of the slow-mo, just had it at a regular length because there was so much of it. Later on, again, like I said, after the second quarter, or after the first quarter, I mean, the rest of the movie, the last 3 quarters, I'd say are pretty normal. There is some slow-mo, but it's more fitting.
I didn't really notice though, overall.
Not as much. It's just the. Oh, go ahead.
Every whole character intro had a good portion of slow-mo scene. Not super long, but there was one.
There was some. But there was just weird. Yeah, honestly, the first third or the first quarter just had weird moments. There was even when Aquaman was leaving and the girl picks up his jacket and smells it, and then they start singing louder.
Got, this village tune.
I was just like, what's going on here? I'm like, this is so weird. It's the first 30 minutes were a bit off-putting for me because there was just a lot of weird choices, and I'm like, I don't know. But it got better and better and better.
Once you got into the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, once the meat and potatoes of the movie came in, it got great. So those are our thoughts on Zack Snyder's Justice League. Overall, it was great. Let's talk about the Joker scene before we close.
Sure. So, can I jump in on
the... do the whole episode?
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just wanted to say, I think we talked about how the visual effects were bad twice, but I think, overall, they're pretty great for 70 million, short period of time. They work in almost every scene.
Yeah, I agree. There's a few shoddy moments, but, again, like you said, for 70 million for a 4-hour film, they did a really good job.
All the Flash stuff is seamless for sure.
Yeah, I loved his visuals, the lighting and stuff. It looks really cool. But no, so the epilogue, there's a couple of scenes. There's one that involves Lex Luthor and Deathstroke, which we already saw in the 2017 version. It's slightly different. In this one, you get to see a bit of Arkham Asylum, and then Lex Luthor reveals that he knows Batman's identity. He says he's Bruce Wayne. That wasn't in the other version, so that was kind of a big twist. And that's pretty much it. I thought it was a cool scene. I don't really have any other thoughts though.
Yeah, no, that was pretty straightforward.
It was
then there was a Joker scene. It was the Apocalypse scene where we get Joker, Batman, Mera, Cyborg, and in that scene they're basically and Deathstroke. They're setting up the whole apocalyptic thing, and it was kind of a cool scene because you get Batman and Joker talking about, Joker's basically saying he lost he basically admits to killing Robin, which Batman already knows in this film, obviously, but it's just we haven't really gotten that confirmed in these films. So that was kind of said, and then Batman's talking about how Harley Quinn died in his arms, which isn't something we've seen, but the whole point of that was this is a couple of years into the future. So Aquaman was dead at that point, right? So some people were dead and whatnot. I thought it was a cool scene. There was some dialogue I didn't like. I didn't like the reach around joke that Joker made.
The reach around was very
that was dumb. But overall, I thought the dialogue between the two of them was pretty good. I really liked just what Batman was saying, where he's like, make no mistake, I will fucking kill you. I like that stuff. I was like, oh, this is
scared Joker almost.
Well, yeah, Joker acts scared for a second, and then I think he probably was a bit, and then he's like
I didn't like the laugh. The laugh was
No, that's a little laugh.
He's kind of the out of place, just mentally challenged person in the group in that scene. And then Superman shows
too
up.
Over the top.
Yeah, Superman shows up. He was better than he was in Suicide Squad though, which isn't really saying much, but he was better.
With just saying shenanigans.
Yeah, pretty much. And then and then the last scene was just Bruce Wayne kind of waking up out of his bed from that nightmare, and then Martian Manhunter shows up. He's kind of I've been watching you. Your parents would be proud, and then I'll join the team one day, and he leaves, and that was the end, and I was like, okay, it's hyping you up for a sequel.
Yeah, that's all you want.
Yeah, so I'm hoping we get something, but we probably won't. I'd love it
I don't
if
know.
we did.
I don't really I don't follow the comics, so I didn't really get Martian Manhunter or that girl that Flash saves or like these comic events.
Yeah,
but
Iris West, the girl that he
Yeah.
saves, that's just his love interest pretty much.
Oh, okay.
And then Martian Manhunter is just another superhero. He's pretty powerful. Like he can shapeshift.
Yeah.
So
He can go through walls and stuff.
He can go through. Well, yeah, he can like.
He's Martha.
He's kind of like Vision. I guess is the
Yeah,
best way I could
yeah.
put it. Like in the sense where he's got a cape. He can go through walls and stuff.
Change walls.
But he can't really change. Like Vision can't change his form, but this guy can. So there's parallels to be drawn between the two of them.
I just remember him from the old cartoons. I remember.
Yeah,
I liked
from
him a lot there.
the Justice League cartoons, he was a pretty sick character. So a lot of stuff in this cut I really loved. So yeah, those are our overall thoughts. 8 out of 10 across the board for all of us. Like I said, possibly even a 9 for me. I'll have to think about that. But just a quick after credit scene. We're using a different mic. We forgot to mention that Superman. So he wasn't in the movie too much, which I kind of already knew. That didn't surprise me, but I did like what he did. He was pretty awesome. The black suit was great. I love the sequence when he gets the black suit and he flies up, and you hear the Man of Steel theme play. That was great. We didn't mention Steppenwolf's death and how fucking awesome it was.
Are you in frame right now?
I think so.
Oh, okay.
So Steppenwolf's death was sick. So basically, he gets his horn cut off by Superman's laser eye. Then he gets stabbed in the chest through the back.
Yeah,
by
picks him up, skewers him.
Skewers him, like Aquaman skewers him. Then Superman uppercuts him, and then he goes flying, and then Wonder Woman decapitates him.
Yes, that's the best.
His head goes through a portal, and
because
Darkseid.
Darkseid's watching.
Yeah, because
he's supposed
Darkseid's
to watch
watching.
The world end.
Yeah, because he was basically gonna teleport in there to claim the world afterwards.
The
anti-life equation. And fucking Darkseid just crushes Steppenwolf's head into the ground, and like guts pour out of it, and he's just done for. And I was like, that's badass.
Dead.
So yeah, there you go, guys. Thanks.
So much better.
Don't forget Granny Goodness and
Granny Goodness and Dormammu. Great overall, and thank you guys for joining us in this 4th episode. I don't know how long this is.
Oh, is this only the 4th episode?
Yeah,
Oh man, I thought
We gotta-
DVB was on 8 or something by now.
Nope, we gotta pump more out. But yeah, no.
for Aiden.
Yeah. Well, next episode will probably be us discussing the Oscars. Like all the best picture noms.
People are gonna get sick of me here.
Yeah, you're gonna be like the main guest. And then the week after that, like probably our next episode would be probably the 3 of us again, possibly talking about Godzilla vs. Kong. So see you guys in those next episodes. Thank you for joining me, Nate. Thank you for joining me, Parker.
Oh yes, you're very welcome.
United.
Oh no.
Oh, unity!
Well, you are the tallest one, so.
Yeah, well, not in reality. That's Nathan here. I'm sitting on a high-ass stool. I literally can't feel my toes right now, by the way. Like, they're dead. Just because of how I'm sitting.
Oh, cutting off all the circulation.
Cutting off the circulation. All right. There you go.
All right.
Oh! Holy! Dude, my right leg feels like
asleep.
it weighs like 40 pounds.
Yeah, that's happened.